Hi, in this chapter we are going to learn more about the variables and more about how basically we can write a code, we can write our own text or anything whatever we want to do, a small program of our own, how we can do that. In this chapter we will learn how variables are to be added or how other operations are to be performed in C sharp, and we will learn some more concept in this chapter. So be there, let's start. So this is the basic structure which we have learned in the previous chapter. If you have not gone through that, please go through it first and then return back to this video. Okay, so we will delete this basic structure and we will see how the for example, if you have learned C++ earlier, if you have not learned, don't worry, we will cover the data types as well in the coming session. So in this chapter we just, for example, we have to add two numbers in C sharp. How we are going to add it? So data type will be same as like integer. It will, as we are working with Visual Studio, it will give you some suggestions of different data types. So we will just put int here and we will say n. We can directly put the values in it, and we just like we are initializing like a conventional programmings. So here we put int n is equals to 89, then we are putting, for example, in m is equals to some random value, you can just put it. And for example, if you want to take it in a same variable or other variable, so s is equals to n plus m. The basic difference will be with the other conventional programming, just the statement that is console dot write line. In the earlier, when you are working with C, you are using printf, if you remember that. If when you are working with C++, you are using cout, but here in this C sharp we are using console dot write line. So console, you just say, because we are here using this editor, so you need not to worry about it. It will give you intelligence. That means it will give you the suggestions what you want to write. If you don't want to take the suggestion, you can just type it as it is, but as a beginner I always suggest to my students that type it. So okay, console.writeLine will be the thing, and if I just run this program, it will give you exactly the output as the conventional programming was given. So if I just print it, and if I just want an output, you can just see this output screen. This is my output screen for Visual Studio here. If you are working with the other editors, the output screen will be little different, but here output screen is like this. So if my program is correct, it will give you some output. If it is having some errors, so it will give that also. So it is giving the answer that is 156. That means my program is correct, right? So in this way you can just go through the different programs, or different you can go through all the programs which you have done in C++ if you have not done. So in coming chapters we are covering the different data types as well, but today we are more focused to the concept of conditional statement. What is conditional statement and all? Because when we are working with C sharp, so it is obvious that we have work with the other programmings also, because in early, if you are going for a technical or non-technical, so the basic idea of programming you must have learned somewhere. So now we are just focusing the different concepts over here. So we just want to go to the other concepts also. So what is the next concept which we want to learn? That is your conditional statement. So conditional statement says, what does it understand? That is conditional. You have already worked with the other programmings. Conditional means whenever we want to work with the some particular decision, that means when we want to make some decision, we use the concept of conditional statements. That means in our regular day-to-day routine, if we say if this will happen, then this I am going to do. If this will happen, then I am going to do this. Like that, if you are making a conversation with your friends like that. So in the programming world also, if we want, there are two choices and we don't want to go with the both choices, we want to go with one particular thing. So then the conditional statement in C sharp is there. And in C sharp, as in the conventional programmings like C, C++ and other programmings, there are the concept of if, there is a concept of else if, or if else, there is a concept of else if. See, it seems to be, it is wrongly typed or something like. It is not. If means if you don't want, the other choice should be there. If else means if the two choices are there, two conditions are there, or you can say one condition is there and if you want to go with the second. And else if means if multiple conditions will be there. And there will be one more thing that is called as switch, that we are going to cover in the coming chapter. So if else and else if. So just quickly we will just go with the particular syntax of it. So if I say if else, that means it is used whenever we want to display output according to a particular condition. That means what you have to always remember, if this condition is true, so if is based on the condition true or false. So if the condition is true, it will execute this part of the statement. Okay, if the condition is false, so it will go to the this part of. This is very obvious. It is always in the other conventional programmings also, so we don't want to waste the time on it, but we have to go with the practical how it will be. Okay, so we just shift with our practicals. So we just go with the practical here and we will see how we are going to. Suppose we will just go with this program here. If the condition, for example, I want to write a program which number is larger, whether n is a big number or m is a big number. So we know the greater than sign and less than sign. If you are not, so in the coming chapters we are going to cover the operators also, but this time we know the basic mathematics sign, that is greater than or less than, isn't it? So this is the less than and the first one is greater than. So what we will do, it is saying if the condition, that means we have to put if here and we will say which number is larger. So we will say n greater than m. If the n is greater than m, so what I want to go with, so the braces are there in the programmings here. So we will say opening, and what do you want to print? I just want to print console. If you want to take the suggestion, that is fine. If you are a beginner, if you don't want to, you can skip it and you can just type it. So console.writeLine, and I say the first number is larger, or anything else you want to go with, that is your choice. The same thing you are doing, just you have to use the syntax, and every line should be terminated with semicolon. That is obvious, you will take it as it is. So if you want to take the program up to this level, so now if I just try to execute this program, if 89 is greater than 67, that is obvious, so it will return you the first number is larger. But what if I close this, what if I am going with, I am saying this is 670, that means 670 is a greater number. If I just try to run this time it is not going to give me any output, isn't it? For this thing, what you have to go with, always remember, you have to go with else. That means I want, if the first condition is not true, what I have to do? So what I do, I say else. You can just copy paste this, or you can just type it, or you can go with the IntelliSense, that is, it is giving you the suggestion. If you want to go with any other message, you can go with, so I'm going with second number is larger or the greater, that is your choice. Whatever you want to go with, that is your choice, the suggestion you want to go with. The proper opening brace and closing brace should be there. Now if I just execute it, now it will be very good. So 670 is a larger, this time it is going to give me, if the program is right, it says second number is larger. That's fine. Okay, so that means if the first condition you want to take it, you don't want, that is the main thing you always, as a learner, you have to always remember. Whenever in a program or in assignment, it is asked that you have to put a else part, then you will be. What students are doing, they always put else with it. It is not compulsion to put else. If it is given that in the program that you have to put the condition for else, then you will go with it. Otherwise, you need not do it. Okay, this is the concept of if else. Hope you understand the concept of conditional statements. In the coming chapter, we are going to work with more about else if and the switch statement in the coming chapter. So be there. If you really like these videos, please put a thumbs up and share with your friends so that they can get the knowledge, and subscribe my channel. I'll see you in the next chapter. Thank you.